Hello, this is Colleen, and welcome to another video on how to use the Microsoft Excel program. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the changes in the mouse symbol that you can see right here. Right now it looks like a thick white cross, and we'll just be talking about how sometimes it will change visually and what that means in the program. So, usually when you have the mouse anywhere in this area, over any of the cells, you'll see that it's a thick white cross. You'll notice that when you go to out of the cell area, it changes to be your usual mouse button that you probably recognize from using your computer, and you can click on various sections there. Here you'll see, see right there how it changes to be a cross with arrows at each tip. That means that you can click that cell and drag it somewhere. So here, let's populate the spreadsheet here a little bit. I'll just plug in some numbers. Now if you'll notice, I did not have to actually type in all of these numbers. Excel kind of does that for you, which is nice. Okay, so see right here, we have the thick white cross, which is basically your normal cursor that you will see whenever you're in Excels. And if I move that down to the edge of the cell, you can see it changes to the cross with the arrows at each tip, which means I can click on that cell and hold the mouse down button, hold the button of the mouse down, there we go, and then I can drag it somewhere else and then let go and it'll move it. So whatever was here is now here. So again, I can now see when I put my mouse at the edge of that cell, it doesn't change. You have to actually have selected that cell. So you select the cell that you want to move, and then you move your mouse to the edge of the cell. You can see any of the edges will work, just not the corner. It has to be the flat edge. And you can click on it, hold your mouse down, and then drag it somewhere else. Now what happens if you select that cell and then you move it over top of some other cell that has data in it already? It'll ask you, do you want to repeat the contents of the destination cell? And then you can see, now it's overwritten whatever was there before. See, now if I move it again, there's no longer the number 30 there. So what if you want to move more than one cell? So you can click on the cell and click and hold down when your cursor is in the white cross there, and you can drag your mouse either down or over or both to select whatever cells you want to, and then move your cursor to the edge of those cells signified by that big thick black box. Any of the edges will work again, and you can click that and hold it down and drag it somewhere else and it will move all of them for you. That's just kind of an easy way to do it. Okay, so that kind of covers the thick white one and then the cross with the arrow at each tip. So what if you want to take this cell and you see if you put your cursor in the corner, it changes to a simple black cross at that point. That means it's ready to copy for you. So if I select that one cell and then I click it and hold it and then drag down, it'll copy that number for me all over the place. You can also copy sideways. So say I wanted to do 31 all the way across. I could do that. So that's just an easy way to copy that one cell all over again. Let's see what happens if it does more than one. Oh, look at that. It automatically picked out a pattern for me. It realized I was doing 32, 42, 52, 62, etc. And it figured that out for me and then copied that across. Kind of nifty. That's how I populated all these real easily. I selected 29, 30, 31, and then I put my mouse in the corner and it changes to that black cross, and I click and hold and then drag it down, and it realized the pattern that I had going. It was adding 1 to each one, so it went ahead and continued that pattern down, which makes it kind of nice. So let's see. Okay, we can also, let's say, this cursor right here. See how my arrow is now, or my cursor is now different than it was before. This is signifying where I want to change the width of column A. So right now, when I click and hold and don't move, it'll show you that the width is 8.43 or 64 pixels, and you can click and drag that wider or narrower and so forth to change the width of that column. So for example, you could type in people's names here. Let's see, let's go to the next sheet. We could do, we could do Albert Einstein, for example. Well, it doesn't fit in row or column A anymore. So I can put my mouse there till it changes, click and hold, and then drag it to the width that I want to fit people's names in. Okay, we could do etc. And then you could do he's in class 2, he's in class 4, he's in class 6. Well, that's too wide. I can make that one smaller. So you can adjust the widths of the columns quite easily by moving your mouse to the edge of the column, and you can see how the mouse cursor changes to be a vertical line with 2 arrows pointing on either side of it. And then also you can tell how that's very similar to this symbol when you go to the rows. It is the same thing. So say for example you wanted this to be bigger font. Well, you can see it automatically figures out that's not going to fit anymore, so it made my row bigger. See here the height is 21, whereas here it's 15. Well, if I wanted to make this one taller, I can also do that too, for whatever reason. See, my Einstein doesn't fit in there. There we go. Now, also, let's say that originally it was this big. If I put my mouse there and I double click on it, it'll automatically go to the max width that any of those in that column will need in order to fit, which is also kind of nice. So like this one, I'll double click it and it'll go back to whatever it needs to be able to fit it in there. Okay. Okay, so also you'll see right here you can type something in and it goes to your regular typing cursor. So when you go here, you can either type off Thomas Jefferson and Sons. Okay, and then you can double click and it'll jump to however long it needs. Or here, I can type right here, or I can type here and Sons. Press enter and you're done. So you can type things in this bar or in this bar, but just realize that when you select here and then start typing, it'll overwrite whatever you had, which is not what you wanted. So when you click here, you have to double click until your cursor changes. Oops. You see. So that's one difference that you can note between the regular white cross and the cursor. Okay. I think that's all of them. You've got your regular mouse, you've got your cursor for text, you've got your thick white cross, you've got your right here thin black cross for copying, you've got your cross with the arrows at the end for moving, and you've got Oh, that's one we missed. Okay. This one right here, see that the cursor changes to a simple black arrow? That's for selecting the whole row. You can do the same thing here for selecting the whole column. You can also select multiple columns. You can click and hold and then drag it over to select multiple columns. Or here, you can just click and drag to select multiple rows. Okay, now I think we've covered everything. So we've got the regular mouse, we've got the cursor, we've got the thick white cross for whenever your mouse is over any of the cells. You've got the cross with the arrows at each tip for moving the cell. You've got the cursor with the thin black cross at the bottom for whenever you want to copy that cell multiple times or in multiple directions. We can get all kinds of crazy with it. And we've got the cursor that has the arrows on either side of it for changing the widths of the columns or rows. And I think that covers all of the different cursors that you can find whenever you have your Excel program and what they mean and what they're used for whenever you see them.